Friendships are where most women are the least honest with themselves. You will leave a relationship before you will end a friendship that has been dead for years. Because at least with a relationship, there's an accepted script for walking away. With friendship, there is no script. So instead, you just keep showing up out of history, out of guilt, out of not wanting to be the one who outgrew someone. But staying in a friendship that no longer reflects who you are does not make you loyal. It makes you stuck. And the people you surround yourself with are not just company. They are a mirror of what you currently believe you deserve and where you currently believe you belong. We are talking about the psychology of women's friendships, what you actually require from one, why the friend who feels the best is not always the friend who is best for you, and what one of the most beloved friend groups in television history actually reveals about the roles women play just to keep a group together. Women will spend hours analyzing a relationship. What does this text mean? Is this a red flag? Are we compatible? Is the effort even? Nobody questions whether that level of scrutiny is normal because everybody agrees it is necessary. And then those same women will keep a friendship for 15 years without ever once asking themselves the same questions. Is this actually working? Is the effort even? Does this person meet what I need? A friendship is a relationship too. It just never gets audited like one. Part of the reason is that women rarely sit down and work out what they actually require from a friendship in the first place. Some women need a friend who texts every day, who checks in constantly, who wants frequent contact to feel close. Other women are the opposite. They can go months without speaking to someone and pick the friendship back up exactly where it left off. Most friendship conflict does not come from one person being a bad friend. It comes from two different operating speeds being forced together with nobody ever naming the mismatch out loud. The high maintenance friend feels neglected. The low maintenance friend feels suffocated. And both of them quietly conclude that the other one is the problem, when really nobody ever had the conversation about what they each actually need. This pattern often starts earlier than people think. The way you were loved or not loved as a child shapes what feels normal to you in a friendship, the same way it shapes who you are drawn to romantically. If you grew up with someone unpredictable, inconsistency in a friend can feel familiar rather than alarming. If you grew up having to manage on your own, you might keep every friendship at a careful distance and then wonder years later why you feel lonely even though you have people around you. None of this gets examined because friendship is treated as something that just happens to you rather than something you actually have a say in. The people you surround yourself with are not just company. They are a mirror of what you currently believe you deserve and where you currently believe you belong. If you have been the most successful or most put together person in your friend group for years, you stop experiencing that as an achievement and start experiencing it as simply who you are. There's no reference point around you to remind you that what you have built is rare. If you have been the one who is most behind, the most stuck, the most single, you start to experience that as identity too, even when it has nothing to do with what you are actually capable of. The group becomes the measuring stick, and almost nobody checks whether the measuring stick itself is broken. This is why sometimes two women with similar talent and similar starting points can end up in completely different places 10 years later, because one was surrounded by people who treated ambition as normal, and the other was surrounded by people who treated staying in place as normal. And she absorbed that baseline without ever choosing it. Look at what currently feels normal to you within your friendships. Then ask whether it is actually your ceiling or whether it is simply the ceiling of the room you have been standing in. There is a friend you call when something goes wrong. The real question is whether she actually makes things better or whether she just agrees with everything you say and calls it loyalty. Comfort feels like support in the moment because it feels good. She tells you that you were right, that he is the problem, that you do not need to look at your own part in it. You leave the conversation feeling validated. You also leave the conversation exactly where you started, because nothing was actually examined. Support is less comfortable and more useful. It is the friend who tells you the truth, even when the truth is not what you wanted to hear. Who asks you the harder question instead of agreeing on command? Who challenges you to be better instead of simply confirming you are fine the way you are? Most women, if they are honest, gravitate toward the comfortable friend because the comfortable friend never costs them anything in the moment. But comfort without honesty is not loyalty. It is just agreement. and agreement does not help you grow. It only helps you stay the same. Sex in the City has been held up for over 2 decades as the gold standard of female friendship. Carrie, Samantha, Charlotte, and Miranda. Different but close. Brunch, breakups, and showing up for each other no matter what. But look closer at the actual dynamic, and it was not nearly as harmonious as it is remembered. Samantha and Charlotte clashed constantly. Samantha mocked Charlotte's more traditional views on relationships. Charlotte often acted as though she was above Samantha and was openly critical of her choices. They rarely defended each other when one was being mocked by the group. Were they actually friends, or were they only connected to each other because they were both friends with Carrie? The ambitious one, the traditional one, the liberated one. Each holding a specific role that kept the group balanced. That raises a real question for your own friend group. Are you all fully known to each other, allowed to change and contradict the role you were given? Or has everyone quietly settled into a fixed part, the funny one, the dependable one, the wild one, because the group needs that part filled and nobody wants to be the one who breaks the formation? A friendship that only works because everyone stays in their assigned role is not as deep as it looks. It is a system. And systems are not the same as genuine closeness. It is easy to audit everyone else. It is harder to turn the question back on yourself. Are you the friend you would actually want to have? Or are there things you consistently take, avoid, or fail to show up for that you would not tolerate from someone else? Do you reach out as often as you wait to be reached out to? Do you celebrate your friends' wins as easily as you expect them to celebrate yours? A lot of women want a high quality friendship while quietly offering a low effort version of themselves to get it. The standard you are demanding has to be the standard you are living, or the friendship was never going to hold its shape. There is also something worth saying plainly here. Sisterhood matters. Women need other women, genuinely, not as an aesthetic or a hashtag, but as real support in a world that often makes things harder for women specifically. The right friendships are not a nice extra, they are protective. But that does not mean more friendships. It means better ones. A lot of women collect a wide circle of friendly acquaintances and call it a support system, when in reality, they have plenty of company and very little actual sisterhood. 5 women who would genuinely show up for you, tell you the truth, and want to see you win are worth more than 50 who are simply present. Choose depth over head count. A friend group does not need to be large to be real. It needs to be honest. Be honest with yourself. Audit your friendships the same way you would audit anything else that takes up this much of your time and energy. Look at who is actually in your circle, what they are giving you, and what you are giving them in return. Then think about the type of friend you actually are, not the type you assume you are. And think about the type of friends you want to attract going forward, because the standard starts with you. If you want to go deeper than what we covered today, my Trigger Point Audit walks you through this properly, friendships included, so you can get fully honest with yourself rather than guessing. The link is in the description. I'll see you in the next one.